Yo, SojuTalk Nation. On this week's episode, we'll be covering Fuego comebacks from Board Bygone 4 and 17. We'll also be cooking up some spicy news coverage, including 2019 physical album sales, Momo's forehead and the global power of K-pop, BTS back at it again, and YG Entertainment's cash flow and uncertain future. So prepare your body, get an ice pack out of the freezer, because Harold's coming in hot today. Hit me with that intro. Hey, what's up, everyone? This is SojuTalk, your weekly shot at K-pop. We're coming at you with a super spicy episode 52, and we're recording on Monday, September 16, 2019. I'm Doug, and joining me today, we got Warren.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
And Anita.
Hello.
And as a quick weekly reminder, please like, subscribe, and comment. Leave us feedback and questions at SojuTalkPodcast@gmail.com. Take us on the road with iTunes, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform. Lastly, join the SojuTalk Discord and follow the SojuTalk Instagram links down below. All right, in terms of shout-outs and announcement this week, we now have 2 additional YouTube series. One called Soju Bites and one called SojuTalk Unfiltered. All right, so Soju Bites, which we release on Mondays, there's 2 episodes out already. It's me and Warren comparing K-pop to food. Yeah, that's a thing. It's like, it's the most memey of our content. So if you like that kind of direction, go watch that. Regular podcast will still be releasing on Wednesday. That's kind of our medium content, a little bit spicy, a little bit serious, you know. And then on Fridays, we have the second new series called SojuTalk Unfiltered, which is, we have 1 episode out so far. And it's more or less, we're going to talk about some of the news articles and themes from the week's podcast, but more about our personal lives. So you're going to get the real inner feelings of the SojuTalk crew. Warren, do you got anything else to say?
Well, I feel like for most people, the Friday episode would be like the more like raw, you know, like ourselves, you know. I like to think of it right. I like to think of it the other way, because I'm just more of a all I think about all day is just memes. So like,
but the good thing for the SojuTalk Nation is we're kind of hitting all the notes though throughout the week. So be on the lookout and be sure to be subscribed to us on YouTube so you never miss out on the fun. All right, on shelf this week we have 2 Board Bygone 4 albums.
Oh,
the first one is this one is Red Planet, and the title track is Galaxy. And then the second one,
the one that made it big,
their second EP, Red Diary, which has Some and To My Youth on it. So
great.
Is that album like a booklet album?
Yes.
Wow, that's kind of uncommon for like indie artists.
But in terms of big new releases this week, well, ironically, so on September 10th and 11th, we were blessed with 2 music videos from Board Bygone 4, Workaholic and 25. Yes. And today on September 16th, we got 17's Fear, but we gotta hold on to that one. Woof. But let's start at the top with Board Bygone 4, Workaholic, and 25. So we're gonna kind of combine them together when we talk about them.
Okay.
What did y'all think of these 2 music videos? Warren.
Do you dislike them?
Do you dislike them, Warren? You got this face going on.
Okay. Let me be real. I don't dislike them.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I don't like them, but I don't like them.
They're not your favorite.
Yeah, they're not my favorite. I wouldn't actively go, you know, out of my way to play them on YouTube or Spotify. And if, you know, but if it's on autoplay and then, you know, Bull 4 is on next, then I'll be like, yeah, why not? If there's 2 songs in a row by them, I'll probably play something else. But like, just who I am. But I will say I enjoyed these releases a lot more than the older releases.
Really?
What?
Way more.
What?
I was the opposite.
I was completely the opposite.
I think I'm in totally the minority here. Like Galaxy, it was great, but like for a while they were on that same like similar kind of tone, kind of mood that they've kind of had since their indie days. It feels like they've kind of matured, both in terms of like the image they're trying to portray and the kind of music they're trying to do. It's very different from what they're doing, and I enjoy that when people do that. You know, they kind of adventure, do new things, and if they pull it off, then I'm like, I bet, cool, like it.
All right, so here's some background information about Bold 4. So they're from Shofar Entertainment. It's a small company. They debuted on April 2016, but they got their start on Superstar K, one of the seasons. Notable songs: Boom, Travel, Some, Galaxy, To My Youth. They have only 3 music show wins so far, which they kind of fall in between indie and mainstream, so that's sort of expected, I would say. For me, I like both of these songs, but they're not my favorite Bowl 4 songs.
Agree.
I would say the themes are very relatable, though. One of them's talking about work culture. One of them's talking about like life in your mid-20s, kind of that uncertainty because you're out of college, but you got to find a job, but you're not like a full adult yet. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Oh, we got yeah.
Yes.
I want to talk about something. Ji-young's vocal quality, she's the main vocalist. She has such an interesting and lovely vocal tone that I am always down to listen to. I kind of consider them like easy listening, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And I like the music video color palettes they chose. The first one, Workaholic, was more muted tones, browns, that kind of thing. And then the second one, 25, was definitely more pastel themed. And in terms of naming your song 25, it seems like everyone does that these days. IU did it. Taylor Swift did that. Our own Jetlag, aka Warren, did that. Like,
you're not even 35, Warren.
No. I did 22 and
he did
21
22,
and
but I'm
20.
saying like that trope of naming something your age is such like a common thing these days. But
I mean,
I'll
Hyogo
give him
did
a
it like
pass.
so many times at this point. It's just like a thing, you know, people do. It makes sense because people want to like sing about stuff that they as an artist can relate to, and you know, putting out you know stuff as an age is an easy way to communicate that.
And Workaholic all killed. It took #1 on every single major real-time chart. So
Not surprised.
but I think it says a lot that I want to group these songs together. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anita, what do you feel about these two songs?
I feel like between the two, I definitely preferred Workaholic.
I agree.
And I think it had more to do with like the music video. Like there was more of a storyline, and it was really funny. Like I really liked their acting. But also I feel like the sound for this particular song was the biggest contrast to their older stuff. It felt like more like rock ballad than like easy listening. So I don't know. I feel like I prefer this, and then I felt like 25 was more in line to what they usually do.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that.
And I feel like for 25 also, it felt like, to me, I'm not sure, but if it was intended to be like a B-side, like a B track.
Yeah,
okay,
it's a B-side,
because I felt like it wasn't necessarily as strong as Workaholic as a second title track, but it makes sense if it's a B-side.
Yeah, and I think, especially for the Korean public, a song like the name Workaholic is so fitting for Korean culture, which has a work-dominated culture. And then some of you might know this, but in Korea, there's this thing where a lot of kids in the college age take years off. That's a very common thing to do in Korea. So it's one of those. So, you know, in America, it's like, so Warren and Anita, they both graduated college, so they're like 22. For us, it's more like a 22, 23 type of feel. But for Koreans, it's oftentimes like 25, 26, even up to like 30 is when you're still trying to find yourself in Korea.
Yes.
America definitely has more of a, you got to get in that job real quick right after you graduate feeling. But Korea's more like, you got to figure it out. You got to take some tests to get into a job. That kind of thing.
They're all trying to get into the job market right after they graduate. It's just a little difficult to do that.
I like these songs. I don't think they're super crazy memorable though, but it's not like they're bad songs. It's just nothing crazy.
My question going on from here right now is like, is this a new direction they're going in, or is this more like an experiment? Are they gonna change from the typical like soft pastel like indie songs they used to do, or are they gonna go mature? That's my question, really.
I hope they do both.
Yeah.
It's kind of difficult to do both.
Well, if you think of a song like Travel, super mainstream summer song, right?
Yeah.
And that did really well. So we have to see what's going to happen with them, because they can go in so many directions because they're not really bound to the constraints that like idol groups are bound to. They could kind of go whatever they feel like.
Do they produce their own stuff?
I am unsure about that, sir. But I'm going to move on to the next song, because I cannot wait to review this song.
Oh my god.
17's Fear came out today. Oh my god. So 17's from Pledis Entertainment. They debuted March 2015. Last 3 songs: Hit, Home, Getting Closer. They got 28 music show wins. But boy, this song. Woo! Dude.
Okay, you're way more excited than I am. I can't match the levels.
I'm gonna make two positive takes at the top of this.
Okay.
17 is one of the strongest contenders right now for Artist of the Year. Additionally, Fear, I think, is a strong contender for Song of the Year.
Wow, I would say they're hot takes, to be honest with you. I don't know about Song of the Year.
I'm telling you, this was spicy. Spicy for him. First of all, 17 might be like top 3 best performing groups in K-pop right now in terms of stage presence and dancing. Would anyone disagree with that?
I don't disagree
Dancing
with that.
for sure, 100% though.
Yeah.
I would say as a group.
You know how I always complain that sometimes groups with a lot of members don't utilize all their members, so they have them stand on the side. 17 never does that. No.
Right.
They're fully committed to that. But
Great choreo.
from that intro, it's not the first intro, but the first like singing lines, like Joshua with the quiet thing. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
That was
really
so
cool.
fire. And then the whole Junghan concept thing where he's like the whitewashed member with the blood and stuff. That was so good. Oh my goodness. But Warren, what'd you think of this song?
dude, production. Everything about the production is
10 out of 10.
Just
Amazing.
My favorite part is also the part where the beat goes away,
Mm-hmm.
and it's that I forget his name, but he's the only one singing. And then my second part is like pretty much like almost the whole second verse where like 5 members are just like they come right after each other and they just like sing, and then the next guy comes in and sing, and the last guy just like raps, and I'm like, like slow down, like this is like
too much. Anita, what'd you think of this as the expert on guy groups out of the 3 of us?
Well, I don't know if I'm an expert, but I really like the song. I like the choreo. I feel like the video enhances the song in a way. Like I feel like the cuts and the way that the transitions were placed made the song even more entertaining. I don't know if the song alone is better than Hit, if that makes sense, because I feel like since they're coming like right back to back, what are you doing, Warren?
100% disagree.
Oh wow. I don't know. I feel like for me, maybe I just need to listen to the song more, but it felt like Hit was more memorable to me, like the chorus and everything that happens in the song itself. Whereas Fear, I remember the music video a lot. Like everything that happened in the music video was really good, really interesting and fun, but the song itself, I don't know if it's a great follow-up to Hit, but it's definitely good. I think it's good as a follow-up maybe, but I don't know if it should be like right after Hit.
Okay. Can I talk about some funny things that I liked in this video?
Sure.
First thing, Uji, right?
Yes.
He's very short. Let's just throw that out there, right?
Talented.
They did 2 things that were really funny to me. The first thing, when he first appears on the screen, in order to minimize the height, what do? They put him completely sideways. and then they transfer out of that. You know what they do? They have the other members about good 20 feet behind him.
Oh, yeah.
The blocking. All right, you can't tell me that they're not doing that on purpose, right? Like,
there was another member that did
I
that
thought it was
too.
clever.
I think it was
No, I think it's a smart thing to do.
Yeah.
It's just like I found that a little funny. Second part, let's talk about young DiCaprio, aka Vernon.
Oh, bro.
This
What a
part,
good-looking
I'm gonna
guy.
reenact this part. That
dear.
part. You know what I'm talking about, Anita?
The shoulder hip
thing.
dance thing.
Woo, boy, that all right. Vernon is super attractive, dude. Let's be straight up here. That's a good looking lad, right? Scene stealer, right? Whenever he comes on the screen, I'm like, boy, that face is really good. That's what I think every time.
Face is really good.
But for me, if you think about 17 this year, they have Fear, Hit, Home, right? At the beginning of the year, we were talking about how Home was the best song of the year at the point where it came out.
Yeah, we were like a couple weeks into the year,
But
yeah.
still, hit for me, if I remember correctly, I liked it, but I didn't think it was like S tier crazy good song. I think Fear is another S tier super good song. So I think by and large, they've done the most work this year. Because Twice is having a low like quantity year, right? BTS had one song this year. There's a really strong argument to be made that 17's done the most work.
Yeah, and now that you mention it, since the big name players have either been kind of this year or they've been on break pretty much, you have a point.
Yeah,
I didn't. Yeah,
I know that G-Friend
Damn.
all killed the music shows twice, right? We know they did that. We know Red Velvet
Right.
has many songs this year. I think it's gonna hinge on if Red Velvet's third song this year is a banger, right?
Is it gonna be another Zimzalabim?
And you also got, and next week we have Twice coming back. If they follow up Fancy with another great song, like they can arguably take Artist of the Year. Or if BTS
Possibly.
releases a new song, which I'm not sure if they're going to. We got news about them at the end of the podcast, but there's a strong argument to be made that 17's like top tier this year at least.
I have before you move on, I feel like you're gonna say we're gonna move on. I have like two comments to make about 17 this comeback, and they're not necessarily positive ones. They're not negative, but like
Okay.
so the one I feel like it's kind of like the new trend with this like gritty, sexy sound within boy groups. I'm seeing this a lot now.
Mm-hmm.
It began with EXO, and then Movie Star happened.
X1 clearly.
Right, X1 clearly.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like they're changing their like concept theme a little too late. I would have liked to have seen it a little faster, where they would have been considered pioneers. But it's not a bad thing at this point, because I don't feel like it's overplayed or anything. But at the same time, that's where I'm like,
the last point I wanted to make was, you know how we talk about this year and song structures, how song structures kind of been thrown out the window with like Zimzalabim or something like Adios, where it's kind of all over the place. This song is kind of held together pretty well, but there are definitely some parts where it's like this and then this is happening. You know what I mean? Like very different things going on.
It's very stimulating. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
The vocal parts coming over each other.
I don't know how I feel about it. I think they handled it well. So Zimzalabim is a pretty controversial song. You either love it or hate it, right?
Right.
The main criticism people have is that it's all over the place. I would say this song is a tiny bit all over the place, but they do hold it together pretty well. That was one point I meant to make about it.
I feel like that's like the kind of direction K-pop should go in.
It is
like,
the direction it's going in for sure.
Yeah.
Mm.
One more thing I wanted to say. I said I have two comments. You cut me off after one.
Sorry.
The music video.
Mhm.
The guys who produced it. I was watching the music video, and I was like, this looks like, I don't want to say it looks exactly like it, but I'm getting strong hints of the X1 music video.
Which
it's
one?
produced by the same people. The X1.
X1.
Oh, X1.
Yeah.
Oh.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, it was a little dark. I did think the same thing with the shadows, dude. I thought the
Dude,
same
yeah.
thing.
But I mean, it was a good music video. I also feel like it's starting to become a little bit of a trope at this point. Dark backgrounds, snapping,
Turning
this.
turning the lights on and off a couple times.
Yeah. A little bit. But it's okay. It's not bad yet.
Yeah,
If
okay.
there's like 5 more comebacks like this, then I'm gonna start complaining. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right, but I think that sums up Fear pretty well. I think it's going to chart really well. I think they're going to win a lot of awards for it, and we'll have to see. But before we move on to show winners,
We gotta talk about this.
IZ*ONE released a
gotta talk
music
about
video
this.
for their Japanese song Vampire. We're only really talking about them because I'm a big IZ*ONE fan, as you can tell. I got the first Japanese release poster right here, but
Wow.
So
How
this
does
one-
it feel now after the second and third releases?
this one's Vampire. I don't love it. I don't hate it. That's where I stand on it. If I had to rank the Japanese songs, I think Tsukitoi Wasatai is number 1 for me. Number 2, Vampire. Number 3, Buenos Aires.
I think most people would agree with you. I think that's a very popular opinion.
I have like the same problems with this one though that I kind of have with Buenos Aires, but just like to a lesser extent.
Okay.
I'm talking. They have this one part, the hey, yeah, want, like, and then they stick a random English word, like, phrase in there.
Wasn't it I Want You or something?
No, there's like loathing, want you, hate you. Like they just keep throwing stuff in there, right? I don't like that part. Additionally, it's a very Japanese song in its composition, for sure, right? Like it's an extremely Japanese song where they have like multiple people singing the chorus, like an AKB song. I'm just not a huge fan of that, but I really like the music video itself, though, other than one part, which we'll talk about. I thought they spent a lot of money on this. The visuals were good. Costuming was great. The dance I thought was fitting. I really liked it. But what did you guys think of this song? Okay, Anita. You go first.
I agree with everything you said about like visually. It looked really good. I really liked their costumes. Like their outfits were very fitting to the concept. It's a very, I guess it's exactly what I had expected, knowing on the title track what it was going to be. I just don't know what happened with the audio production. Like when I listened to the song,
you weren't the only person, Anita.
I was like, what happened? Like I thought was it me? Like my headphone not working? Like it was really like muffled.
I saw the comment someone wrote on some forum or Reddit or something where like, did they record this with a potato? I heard that. I read that somewhere.
But I mean, honestly, I was like, I didn't even have to look at the comments because I knew like something does not sound right. Like I don't understand what happened, but other than that.
So I have a couple comments to make about that.
Okay.
With the mixing and mastering and that being like a big hobby and like kind of a thing I do. Obviously, the first thing I noticed was the mixing quality, and people have been talking about the mic quality, and I want to first point that out because the mic quality is actually really good. I can tell that they're using good mics. What they're doing with the recordings is very different from K-pop because in K-pop and Western pop music, what they do is they compress everything very heavily. They do a lot of work on equalizers, which means they edit things artificially with the way frequencies work, and J-pop in general doesn't do that as much.
Okay.
They don't. If you listen to other J-pop songs, they do have a bigger focus on putting the frequencies higher with the lower frequencies, while K-pop does that with the higher frequencies, which is why we end up with the sound we get, which sounds a lot more like muffled because it pushes up the lower frequencies, which from a K-pop fan, because it doesn't sound great, but at the same time, knowing that the song is pretty much marketed towards Japanese people, it's like, okay, I kind of see what they're doing. At the same time, even for J-pop standards, it's not really good at all. So
that's what I felt though, because I mean, I've listened to other stuff that they've marketed to Japan, and it just sounded a little bit off. I don't know, like if you say like the mic quality is good, then the mixing, I don't know what they were going for because it sounds, I don't know, I feel like it takes away from the song itself.
The mixing is just very, very, very
all right
and undercomplete.
Can I talk about that one part in the music video? Well, first thing, there's like a build up after the second chorus. That's the best part of the music video. It's like Sakura, then Wonyoung, and then we have Yenyul, which is Yena, and Yuri. That part is the best part. So if you rewatch that video, you know what I mean. When they start showing them with the teeth,
bro.
Okay, the Icewood has like 12 members, right? Maybe like I'm not gonna name names here. Maybe 7 to 8 of them can pull off the vampire teeth. A couple kids were looking like this. They were looking like this.
Dude.
So this came out around right when we finished recording last week's podcast. It was a Monday, yeah. And Martin and I listened to it like together at the same time. When that teeth came out, I lost my crap, dude. I lost all the marbles, mom spaghetti everywhere. It was like, it was so hilarious. Even now, when I watch the music video and I see certain members, I will not name anyone, with the teeth, with the vampire teeth in, one of the funniest things in the past like 2 months I've seen. I don't think I've laughed so hard.
I think for me, it wasn't like, I know that it's tough to do like the fangs and make it look natural because it's unnatural to do that, but I just feel like the way they were all like one by one like showing it,
that too was
all
so
had the same expression. I thought that was a little bit like I don't know.
They started with
That's what you're looking for. Cringy.
They started with the Radish Fairy Chaewon, and I was like, oh, okay, I see you with the fangs, right? And then they showed a couple more kids. I'm like, please don't, please stop. It just kept going. And then by the time we got to a couple members who didn't look that good, I couldn't handle it anymore. Like, I was like, stop, what are you doing? And they did 12 close-ups, like, with the same expression.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where they used all the budget instead of mastering. They
teeth
put all the
implants?
budget into teeth.
Can they do a live stage with the mouth implants in?
Oh my
Please,
God.
I would pay money to see that. I would pay so much money to see that.
Oh man.
But overall for me, if we judge this as a J-pop song relative to the other IZ*ONE J-pop songs, this is all right. It's nothing tremendous to me. I really prefer Sakito Iwasatai. That's why we got the poster going. But
Aki, my man, you gotta pick songs better than this.
I believe my
man.
prediction is that IZ*ONE's gonna come back in November around their 1 year anniversary. That makes sense to me. So I'm still really waiting for the next Korean title track. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
I feel like I learned something with this comeback.
Okay.
I learned how big the IZ*ONE fandom is in Korea.
It's big.
It's a lot bigger than I thought. Last time I checked, it was not this big.
There's a
like,
huge argument to be made that IZ*ONE is like
I would
undisputedly
agree.
the fourth girl group in Korea right now.
They're huge.
They're big.
fourth might be a bit of an understatement.
Okay, but we do have more news
That's
about that
gross,
later in the
Christ.
podcast, so we can go over that.
Cool.
But in terms of show winners this week, we only had 4 shows. 2 of them didn't happen because it was Chuseok weekend, which is pretty much Korean Thanksgiving.
Happy Chuseok, everybody.
A lot of the times the scheduling for TV shows gets a little weird around that time because people are on vacation essentially. So we had 4 shows. All 4 of them were won by X1's Flash, so they're up to 9 wins.
Dang.
They won all of the awards last week and this week that they could have. So shout out to X1's Flash.
Oh, speaking of X1,
You guys have to say?
a little quick anecdote. If you don't want to listen, skip ahead like a minute or so.
No. I heard. Okay, you mentioned this. I know what you're gonna get at.
What happened?
So my mom was in Korea.
Mhm.
She flew back in yesterday. She bought me this T-shirt. Thanks, Mom. Shout out. I don't think she watches or listens, but she's flying in from Korea. And she is one of the types who gets really stressed out with airplane flights because she's worried about getting late. So she'll try to go to the airport like 5 hours early. I'm not exaggerating when I say 5 hours. It's actually she tries to go like 5 hours early. Except things didn't work out. She was, leaving. She was departing at a time, when, she wasn't really used to. Things didn't really work out. And then she got to the airport later than she wanted. And she was actually kind of late at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I would even argue. And then she was having trouble getting through security. She was having trouble like with all that. And then she was like, why are there so many people that are not even going inside? Why are there what is going on? And then she was like, there were like 2 male boys around your age, surrounded by what seemed like a sea of girls with cameras.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
I was like, okay. So, I mean, when did I start this anecdote? Right after we just mentioned X1 won a bunch of awards.
Who?
I don't know, but they apparently they left for Japan the same time my mom left like for America.
She was almost like okay. When you told us on our messaging thing, I thought like, oh, was your mom like stopping watching a music video and she was late? I didn't realize it was like X1 themselves that almost the late.
No, she was literally she literally saw them and I showed her the pictures and she was like, yeah, it looks like them. I don't know.
Oh my goodness, but, that's really funny. Shout out to X1. You are literally making people late with your presence.
Shout outs to all the fans who are taking the same airplane the next one is taking.
But all right, let's move on. Hot takes with Harold. All right,
Harold.
So on this segment, my cousin Hot Take Harold will come on and give his weekly hot take, and then the crew will react and discuss the hot take. But please keep in mind that this is just for fun and entertainment, and the take may not represent the opinions of the crew. So it's gonna get a little spicy. This week's pretty spicy, so I'll go get Harold right now. So you guys do something.
Right.
I wonder I really wonder how old Harold is. Like.
Yeah, I know.
Is he also 25 or like?
There he is.
Hi guys.
Man.
The weekly hot take is NCT needs Mark more than Mark needs NCT. Boom.
Bye, man.
Harold.
Bye, Harold. Dude, those ears, I can never get used to.
All right, so that was cousin Harold's take this week. NCT
man?
needs Mark more than Mark needs NCT. Oof. That's a bit of a spicy take, I think. I'm going to even say cousin Harold needs to slow his roll this week.
Oh, what?
His rolls are too spicy.
Now,
Okay.
if you told me this take 6 months ago, at the end of, or what month are we in, September? 9 months ago, at the end of 2018, when we were talking about how overworked Mark was, right?
Right.
I would probably agree with Harold. But now, I don't agree with that take at all.
Okay.
What about-
Why did your opinion change so much in the past, like...
My opinion changed because of NCT Dream song Boom. Because we were all waiting for NCT Dream to come back after Mark graduated from the unit, and a lot of I want to say a lot of people, but for someone like me who's not a humongous NCT fan, I was like, yo, Mark's the guy, right? Like, Mark is the link that, like, Mark is the face of NCT. When I think of NCT, I think of Mark, right? Even though I like members like Johnny, Chunla, those type of people. I was worried about the NCT Dream first comeback without Mark, because I thought, man, without Mark, maybe this ain't gonna work, right? But they totally redeemed themselves. And now I'm confident that although Mark is a critical part of NCT, of course, I don't think without him would be the end of the world. That's why I disagree with the take.
even if NCT lost completely Mark, I don't think it would be the end of the world for NCT. I think,
But do you agree with, well, what do you feel about the take, though?
Anita, you should go first.
Okay.
I feel like I'm gonna have a...
I feel like the way that it's worded, I don't know if I agree completely with it, because to me, I've always seen Mark's like being in the group as, I don't know, his personality and like his talent works with NCT, but I don't know if like he would be as popular or as successful without NCT, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like his popularity, his success is because he works well with NCT, like the group itself, right? And like, he does a lot of, and I feel like it shows because he's in almost all of the units, but I don't know if he, like, remove him from NCT, if like he himself would do well.
I also,
as a solo.
My other point
se.
was that SM, they do have solo artists, but it's all well after the groups are heavily established. Like,
Right.
That was another reason why I disagree with this, because like it's not like, well, number one, it's not like Mark's just gonna leave NCT, right? That doesn't make any sense to do that. I still think that NCT's in the building phase, right? They're still building up some popularity for sure. Saying that NCT needs Mark to be successful, though, I think it's a disservice to the other members, because they definitely have other really good members in that group. But let's get to Warren over there at the bottom right with that face going on. Let's see what he thinks.
Here's what I think. NCT definitely needs Mark, and Mark definitely needs NCT. And the question comes down to which one needs more each.
Okay.
I feel like that's where the question comes down to. And because here's the thing. When I look at, because every now and then, things like these will come up, right? Like NCT individual member merchandise sale ranking. Number one is like almost always Taeyeon, and then like after that, it's kind of a mix. Sometimes I see Haechan, sometimes I see Doyoung, sometimes I see Mark, Taeyeon. It goes up and down. But it's usually the same five names, and usually Taeyeon's on the tail end, and Mark is in the middle somewhere within the top five. Knowing that, yes, NCT definitely needs Mark, and Mark definitely can't be a soloist without without his whole NCT thing going. I don't think he could be a soloist at this point. So I don't think I could say which one needs each other more.
I also think that Mark being in every unit is a symptom of NCT's, for lack of a better term, team comp, where he is the majority of rap line.
He is the
True.
That's why, like, I feel like if NCT, I'm not gonna discredit any of the other people who rap in the group, but let's say they had like 2 or 3 guys who are at Mark's level who can rap that well, Mark wouldn't be in everything.
Here's the thing, though. When I saw NCT Dream's last comeback, I was not gonna lie, I was kind of impressed. I thought they were way below what they were doing. In that aspect, I don't honestly. Come on, think about the other SM groups. If NCT didn't have Mark, they're not gonna die.
Yeah.
Having a good rapper, in there, yeah, it really raises their musical abilities, their capabilities, and what they can do. But at the same time, I don't know, man. This is a hard question.
We're not discrediting Mark, though.
Necessary.
Wait, what'd you say?
No.
What'd you say?
I feel like I agree with Warren, because I feel like even before then, SM groups have never been like the strongest with rappers or having like that kind of sound,
bro.
And I feel like they still do fine. So I feel
Irene
like
spits flames, though.
Irene is the best rapper in the.
All right, but keep going, Anita.
Well, yeah, I feel like it's not necessary, but it definitely adds something different to NCT. And I guess that's kind of why they push him so much, like throughout all the subunits. And maybe that's why it makes it seem like, oh, NCT needs Mark, or like he's a vital part.
My question is, right, because NCT has a very hip hop heavy sound, right? They have a very R&B hip hop based sound in all their songs. My question is, if they didn't have Mark, would they still have done that?
That's a great question that we just don't know the answer to. Also,
right,
if we think about SM as a company, they're always like the pack is better than the individual, right? That's how SM is like made, where the group is bigger than the individual. At least in the first like 5-7 years.
Yeah. In the beginning. In the beginning.
It's not like a Blackpink trajectory where they did some stuff together. Now they're doing solos, but they still do stuff together. For SM groups, the first like 5 years, like, you are doing this group thing because we need to make this marketable, right? So therefore, that's why I think Harold needs to slow his roll and chill on the comparison of Mark and NCT.
Right. I agree with that.
You agree with that? Harold's a little wrong this week.
I wouldn't say someone needs more. Someone needs the other more than
But let us know if you agree with Harold. I mean, in the comments, or let us know on Discord. So it's a good conversation to have, because Mark is clearly like the member that's most in the forefront for casual viewers of NCT, for sure.
This is true.
But let's now move on to the news and events from this week. First one, 2019 K-pop album sales. So these are the numbers up into September, so pretty much the first 3 quarters of the year. And we got all this data. It's from the Gaon chart, and we got it specifically from the Twitter page, Korean Sales _TWT. So first one, let's go over guy groups. First place, not a surprise, BTS. 5.3 million physical album sales in 2019.
Oh my god.
For reference, second place, 17, 570,000.
That's 10 times.
Third place, X1 with about 460,000. No, third place is X1 460,000. Fourth place, EXO, Seichan, so that's Sehun and Chanyeol. They have about 400,000. Fifth place, Stray Kids. That's good for Stray Kids, 380,000. Sixth place, NCT Dream, 360,000. Seventh place, GOT7, 340,000. Eighth place, NCT 127, 325,000. Eighth place, Monster X, 290,000. 10th place, Newest, 270,000. The main takeaway for me is that all the way from 17 down to Newest is pretty grouped.
Yeah.
Like, we know BTS is its own category, right? Like, functionally,
too far ahead.
It's its own category. But you always got to keep in mind that certain groups have more comebacks. Like 17's had a lot of them. So a group like GOT7's only had one, I believe, this year.
Right.
But still, album sales is one of the main metrics used for like group viability and strength, I would say.
Fandom strength.
Is there anything here that surprises you guys?
Not
I have one that sticks out to me.
much.
Stray Kids number 5.
Yeah, that one I was about to say.
To be honest, I'm not that surprised though. I feel like they've been building up quite steadily.
Well, let's put it this way. Stray Kids number 5 at about 380, 390,000 versus Monsta X at number 9 with 288.
Well, yeah.
That's a little surprising to me. I thought Monsta X would be higher on this list.
So wait a minute. Stray Kids had 2 comebacks this year.
Monsta X
How
has
many
had
did-
2. Alligator, and then, right? I believe they've had 2. We covered one last week.
Oh, right. They had one last week.
So they do have two comebacks as well. Obviously, they're still charting though, so that doesn't. These numbers aren't great. But I think the more shocking thing is how high Stray Kids are on this list. And another thing for me is how still strong GOT7's fan base is.
Well,
I'm not too surprised with that. I feel like yeah, because they're in the kind of same category as like what EXO, right? In terms of debut time.
Yeah, but it's one of those like it's like veteran groups still sticking around. That's the thing that's surprising to me.
EXO, yeah.
I mean, EXO's EXO. Their fandom is
No, it's cool. EXO, a 2-man unit, can get
Huge.
4th place. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
their fandom is big, dude.
But do you want me to move on to girl groups now?
I think this is pretty.
All right, girl groups. It's a bit of a struggle for some of these groups.
Oh boy, here we go.
Keep in mind that 17, which was number 2 guy group, was at about 575,000, and newest, the number 10 guy group, was at about 270,000. So now we'll do girl groups. Number 1, of course, Twice, 610,000. Number 2, Blackpink, big drop off at 335. Red Velvet at about 325. IZ*ONE, 315. Then we get 5th place, Yeojichingu. There's another big drop off to about 195,000 album sales. 6th place, Ujusonyo, 143,000. 7th place, ITZY at about 105. 8th place, Mamamoo, only at 93,000. 9th place, From Miss 9, 67,000. And 10th place, Lovelyz at about 55,000 album sales. There's a lot to unpack here. All right.
ITZY.
Let's begin there. Let's begin with ITZY getting 100,000.
I know
I'm kind of surprised.
I know they're still building the fan base, but if you told me before I saw this list who had more album sales this year, ITZY, Ujusonyo, I would have bet the house on ITZY, right? Like,
it's surprising. What?
I know they're still like a rookie-ish. Well, they are a rookie group. They're a rookie group.
Yeah.
But just the amount of hype they're generating, you would think that the physicals would be higher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The main thing that when I look at this list, clearly Twice is on their own level, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Blackpink, Red Velvet, IZ*ONE are really close to each other. Right?
Mm-hmm.
If we were to make a tier list just based on this, right? Like, you know how we made that controversial tier list?
Yep.
That you 100% make the argument Twice is in a level on their own. Blackpink, Red Velvet, IZ*ONE are next to each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Just on these numbers.
Now, in that aspect, Mamamoo is really what strikes me a little surprising.
Yeah, at 8th place at 93,000 album sales.
Because you guys made it sound like Mamamoo is like definitely A tier, and I didn't really argue because I don't really know that much about Mamamoo to begin with. But
I mean, our tier list was going off of general feeling, and everyone's general feeling is that they're like an A tier, borderline S tier group. But these sales,
I just feel like Mamamoo for me just felt like a more of a veteran group, like like among the people around them on this list. I would assume they have a stronger fan base, but I don't know.
But I don't think. Here's what I think. I think they still have a strong fan base. I think their fan base doesn't buy CDs, is what it is.
That might be it too. Because if you think of like an example like them on Queendom right now, they're heavily regarded as the favorites by everyone.
Yeah.
Right.
But, you know, From Miss 9 outpacing Lovelyz is pretty interesting to me too. Because Lovelyz is approaching the stage where they're considered like a veteran. They're in like the same generation as like Twice, right?
Yep.
And for From Miss 9 to be in 9th place, number 1, that's ironic. Number 2, shout out to From Miss 9 because those are good numbers for them. But Ujusonyo,
shout out to Cosmic Girls.
Ujusonyo at 6, Cosmic Girls. Wow, right? Look at Warren. Warren's so happy.
I mean, like,
wow.
I thought Cosmic Girls was Struggle City, but like,
we both, Warren and I, thought the last comeback was kind of right. Like,
Yo,
they generated
Okay.
physical sales, man.
hindsight. I feel like Boogie Up was like one of the best summer songs.
I was gonna say the
of
same exact
2018.
thing. Also,
Ooh.
Spicy Take or whatever.
you know how we've been a little bit cold on G-Friend lately? They still strong in there. They're right
still
on.
strong.
They're the next up after the high tier groups, right? Which is where we generally place them anyway. But I just thought that like if I had to guess, I would say Mamamoo should have been like fifth. I would have thought Mamamoo was fifth or sixth, for sure.
Yeah, same.
That's the biggest shock to me. But
So I'm kind of sad.
why? Who don't you see on this list?
Rocket Punch.
Okay, come on, man.
And, I mean, okay. Honestly, we had 16,000. There's no way we're making
Warren,
anywhere near top 10.
if you all right, so albums in Korea are like $10. If you get $500,000, you could put them on this list yourself, sir.
Best
Seriously.
big brain move.
Big brain move, right?
Best investment.
Oh.
This is why I'm gonna get a job and make money.
Lastly, I'm going to list off the combined top 10 best-selling artists. So male, female, solo, all of this is included. Number 1, of course, BTS, 5.3 million. Number 2, Twice, 610,000. Third place, 17, 575. Fourth place, Baekhyun, 550. Fifth place, Kang Daniel, 500 flat. Sixth place, X1, 460. Seventh place, EXO Sechan, 400. Eighth place, Stray Kids, about 385. Ninth place, NCT Dream, 360. 10th place, GOT7, 340,000.
I'm not surprised by any of this.
It's one of those things that oftentimes, well, Warren and I obviously are more into girl groups for sure. Like, everyone knows that.
Mhm.
No, yeah.
But we always do admit that female wallets in Korea dictate the whole industry. Do you know what I'm saying, Anita? Where
Yes.
it's one of those
Yes.
things where fans of guy groups, which obviously is generally more female, are the ones who are willing to spend the money more than guy fans. And clearly, with Twice being the only girl group, even though they're in second place, it speaks to that for sure. Now,
Fun. Yeah.
also Kang Daniel, man, okay, we knew he was popular. He had that I wouldn't call it a scandal, but the news came out with him and Gio. The fandom is still strong, guys. 500,000 sales.
It's good.
my guess is they would have been number 2 without the whole like.
Well,
Shield
it
thing.
happened. His album dropped pre-news, so a lot of this is pre-sales because he had the records, I believe. But
Wait,
also,
Right.
Is this first week sales only or
No,
complete
this is-
sales?
composite until the last week of August.
Right. Then they would have. Then Kang Daniel would have sold more if the thing didn't happen.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
yeah.
I would say probably, I'm gonna guess like 80% of these sales are probably the pre-sales in that.
Probably, but still.
But also, Baekhyun, UN Village, number 4. Oof. I mean, I know we like that song. I didn't realize how many EXO fans were buying that album though.
Dude,
EXO fandom, man.
EXO fandom is huge.
I know. I'm
don't
sorry.
know
I'm
why
sorry
you-
that I underestimated y'all.
They're one of the biggest in the
But
whole industry.
If we go on this chart, 17 is an A to S tier guy group based on these numbers.
You know, I didn't
Just
agree
throwing
with
that
you
out
at the
there.
beginning of the podcast, but
I do now.
I do now. You've convinced me.
I mean, if we think about who's on top of guy groups, whenever EXO comes back clearly, BTS God tier, right? Next up is like X1, 17, and then you have a mix of people like Stray Kids, Monsta X. Like that's the next tier down. So shout out to 17 though. Those are strong album sales for sure.
Yes.
But now let's move on to the segment called Momo's Forehead and the Global Power of K-pop. All right, so
Global power
it's
meme.
True Suck week. We got some weird news stories. There wasn't that much news this week. Twice Momo's Forehead trends all over the world, beats Apple's major event. So back on September 11th, the Momo's teaser for Feel Special dropped, right? And Feel Special is going to drop next Monday on the 23rd, so we're hyped for that. But aside from the gorgeous aesthetics of the teaser, Bangless Momo surprised fans. It's the first time she showed her forehead since she debuted in 2015. Momo and her forehead trended number 1 on Twitter, beating an Apple press conference.
I mean,
Isn't that ridiculous? Like, think
Wow.
about that.
I mean, here's the thing. This isn't the first time we've seen Momo's forehead, is it?
No, it is in terms of concepting. It is.
Because no, we saw it in 16.
Yeah, but this is the first time since her debut.
I guess.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Also, businessmen like billionaires were commenting, "Who the heck is Momo, and why is she trending above Apple?" That was like, and then people were explaining to them,
Dang.
and then I saw a couple billionaires being like, "Oh, yo, look out for Twice's comeback after they got educated." I saw a couple tweets like that. So because, of course, they don't want the haters, right? You know how K-pop fans sometimes are aggressive a little bit on SNS. So they educated them, and then a couple guys would be like, "Man, I didn't know who she was, but look out for their comeback." That's
Dude, I was okay. Because I look forward to these events, right? I was on Reddit, and I was like, oh. iPhone, Cap 3 lenses, whoa. And then, and then the next thing I know, the Twitters I'm following are like, shout outs to Momo.
I know, right? You're like, what is this?
Tell me more about the iOS system.
Yeah, but like, kind of crazy news, right? For sure.
Crazy time.
Also, when Mina's trailer released, it trended #1 and #2 on Twitter. The hashtags Feel Special Mina and Our Special Mina trended 1 and 2. I'm so hyped to see Mina in this music video, but I hope that she's ready to do it. She's not, if I understand correctly, she's not going to be in the actual promotion of the song, but she is in the music video, which is all you can ask for at this point, right? So, shout out to Momo's forehead. I don't know if I ever thought I'd say that statement in my life. Shout out to Mina and shout out to Twice's comeback. It's going to be epic.
Epic.
Next one. BTS back at it again. BTS announces official end to period of rest.
What?
Yeah.
What?
So today on September 16, Warren, move your cursor because I can't read it. A source from Big Hit Entertainment stated, BTS has ended their period of rest and will be flying out today for a scheduled activity. They announced their rest a little over a month ago on August 11th. So they only had about a month off.
Hey, long-term break.
They have some engagements, and I know there's concerts going on in Saudi Arabia soon as well. But I felt like when they said giving them a rest, I thought they'd be gone till like the end of the year ceremonies and stuff.
I hoped.
That's what everyone thought.
Get at least 3 months.
People are wondering if they cut it short, #1. And I saw other people talking about they feel like they're giving them their shorter rest period because one of the members, Jin, has to go to the military next year.
Oh, no. Yes.
Oh.
So people think that's why like rest means like, all right, quick rest because we need to utilize him before he goes.
Dang.
But overall, I was like, really? Only a month? You know what I mean? I don't know. What do you guys feel?
It's short. That's how I feel.
I honestly thought it was going to be like at least 3 months, before anything official. But I don't know. I guess if they can do it before Jin goes.
All right, but I have mixed feelings about that one. Next one. YG Entertainment's cash flow and uncertain future. All right, so crazy stuff came out today. First thing, the overall topic is industry insiders assess YG's current and future financial situation. This comes in the wake of 2 things. YG himself and the company are being fined 6 billion won in additional taxes. That's about 5 million USD. You might think 5 million. Jesus Christ, because they already reported losses of about a couple $1 million last week, right? The crazier thing, industry officials reveal YG is preparing to return Louis Vuitton's $56 million investment.
What?
$56 million US. So what happened apparently is, I don't know if it was earlier this year or last year, Louis Vuitton invested in the company.
Right.
For 67 billion won, which is about $56 million United States dollars. Because of all the shenanigans and the way their contract is structured, YG has to pay it back with interest.
Oh, what?
Now, we were worried last week when they had about $1 million in negative reporting losses, right? Last week. They got to give back essentially 30 times that now.
Oh my.
Man,
I feel bad for everyone.
So here's a statement from an insider. YG is a company where the former head producer Yang Hyun-suk was involved in every detail from 1 to 10. It's a great risk. It's a great risk factor to suddenly remove this oversight. Groups and solo singers who write and produce their own songs can continue to release new albums, but in the current situation where YG's existing production system has been suspended, disruptions to debuts and comebacks of their idol groups are inevitable. So they're talking about like Akdong Musicians has a comeback soon, but they're generally self-produced, so that's okay. But they were worried about Treasure 13, Blackpink, of course. This does not look good. They are hemorrhaging money right now.
This is so sad.
Well, now I guess their next comeback is gonna be in H&M t-shirts and Uniqlo socks.
But it's just the scale of the money. $56 million to Louis Vuitton. I never thought that would happen, right? Like,
I mean, Louis Vuitton is like one of the biggest fashion companies in the whole world.
Fashion houses, sir.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mr. Virgil Abloh.
But could you imagine, like, they're like, man, we already lost like $1 million, and then they're like, Louis Vuitton comes knocking, give us our $56 million back. For most people, that's like that's like a fork in them. It's over. So we'll have to see what happens. Hopefully, this does not like end some of these groups, but you never know. Once you start hemorrhaging $60 million, it's gonna be rough goings for sure.
Here's my question: if the company goes bankrupt and the company just goes bang, what happens to their contracts?
I'm pretty sure the contracts would become null and void, and they'd be all free from the contracts. So if they would want to, let's say in the case of Blackpink, let's say all the contracts got null, right? All four of them are technically separate entities at that point.
Yeah.
So would they all go? Would some say solo? Would they stay a group? Would be up for debate.
Man, Jenny, I do not want to see you solo, buddy.
All right, but in terms of quick takes, we got a lot of solo news. 3 solo artists left their companies. A-Lee signs with Rocket 3 Entertainment after leaving YMC.
Yes.
For what we know, it's a one-person agency. Baek Yerin announces her leave from JYP, starting her own independent label. And today, Baekhyun also says goodbye to JYP Entertainment on Instagram as agency confirms her exit. So now in the span of 1 month, Jimin, Yerin, and Ayoung all left JYP.
Yep, solo singers.
The only solo female artist in the company is now Yubin.
And Suji.
I don't think she counts as a solo artist.
What is she, a solo
actress?
Okay, fine.
I don't know what that means, but little weird. Well, I know that Yerin and Jimin had problems with JYP and the way they've been handling them. That's been known. But Baekhyun was kind of doing well, so we'll have to see what happens with all these solo female singers.
I have to correct myself. Suzy is not in JYP anymore.
Oh.
She left like this March. So.
Oh.
They've lost tons of solo talents, right?
She
and then Sunmi left last year, so
right.
They're down all of these artists.
Okay, technically they still have Hirim and Pei. They're still with JYP, but
lastly,
that's something, yeah.
The last quick take of the week: YouTube is changing the way it counts views for paid promotions. So there had been this trend going on YouTube where, let's say your company releases a song, you pay for YouTube ads, and then those ads count as views for your music video.
Oh, right. I see.
There was a big controversy over that where people were getting inflated view counts. So more or less, YouTube has determined that they will now only count organic views on the original video, not from ads.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense.
It happened in response to a artist beat out BTS's record for first 24 hours.
From Badsha Pagal.
Yes, I believe he's an Indian artist, but
he's from Bollywood, yeah.
So that was the first impetus, and also people in K-pop were just saying like groups who had ads got way more views because they were inflated because they would play in front of videos or maybe in the middle or at the end. And like that means within one video, let's say you get it at the front at the end, that's 2 views for that music video that you didn't even watch. You probably skipped the ad after 5 seconds. So I'm okay with this, honestly.
Seems more fair.
I'm all for like clarity.
It seems like this should have been a thing they should have done a while ago. I don't know why they're doing it now. But yeah, good move.
Lastly, in terms of comeback and releases, so this next week is jam-packed. Wednesday, September 18th, Dreamcatcher. September 19th, Thursday, La Boom and Vix. September 22nd, Sunday, Card. Monday, September 23rd, Twice and P Nation's first title track by Jessie.
Oh.
Yeah, it's all happening.
That.
Wow, next week is packed.
Packed. And then here's the confirmed comeback news. Former Girls' Generation member Jessica, September 26th. EXO's Chen, October 1st. Jung Se-eun, October 2nd. Also in October, AB6 and ATEEZ. And then EXO just said they're coming back sometime in the winter.
Wow.
Okay.
Dang.
End
of September, October is going to be crazy. For sure.
Yep.
Man, okay. Seems like we're going to start writing nonstop until the end of the year. You get what I'm saying? It's just going to be a nonstop ride. It's going to be hot and wild.
All right, but now let's do State of the Nation, where we kind of just talk about what we've been doing in the world of K-pop over the last week. Couple things. Spice. If you're not watching Queendom, please watch it. It's amazing. Ooh. I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm just going to say AOA is killing it.
Oh.
They're like, for me, by and far the most impressive group on that show right now. Unexpected, because it's AOA as 5 too. Additionally, I watched all 6 parts of the Idol Star Athletic competition.
Dude,
they were about 50 minutes each. Oh my god. I watched the whole thing over 2 days. Couple things that stood out to me.
Okay.
The Hmong, also known as the Days competition, where you just sit there and the person who looks most dazed wins. That was the thing they did. Shout out to Olivia Hay. This was a perfect thing for her, but she fell asleep and got out. So that happened. They also have the main singer from Norazo trolling them to get them to laugh and stuff. So he's going nuts. They also had PUBG solo and team matches.
Oh, right.
So that was pretty cool. But in terms of Olivia Hay, bro, I'm getting bias wrecked by her so hard in my Luna tier right now.
Dude, she was on my list the whole time. I don't know.
Her solo track might be the best Luna solo track. That might be a take. But lastly, there was the female rookie girl singing competition V1 hosted by Kang Ho-dong. I haven't watched it. I'm gonna watch it this week. I'll get back to you on that. I know that I'm not gonna spoil it. I just know I've seen some of the stages. It is ridiculous how good some of these girls are, like hard they're going in this competition.
Okay, I saw the clips of Choi-jung. She was really good.
Yeah, but let's not spoil it, because you should either watch it or watch the clips, because some of these kids are going ham. But what about you, Warren or Anita? What have you been doing this past week?
Warren can go first.
Oh boy, I got to go first. I've been having a kind of a rough week in terms of music.
Oh.
I mean, there's plenty of stuff to listen to. I don't know, man. Because I spend time with talking with other Korean hip hop fans, and the atmosphere in the community is kind of like rough right now. It's very aggressive towards each other, mostly because Show Me the Money is airing, and there's controversies every week.
Right.
I haven't seen the recent episode, and I kind of don't want to, because everyone is just so angry with each other.
Dang.
I mean, but besides that,
that kind of seems normal these days. We released that one, like, tier list video that was supposed to be for fun, and then Warren got slaughtered. And I know we keep saying it, but like, I saw some of the things they were commenting to him, and I was like, I don't think he deserves that. Like,
yo, hip hop is love.
I know.
We are one nation under God, indivisible.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay,
but I don't know. Like, it's gotta show the love, guys. Gotta be chill.
Is anything been happening on the Rocket Punch front? Anything been happening over there?
They're still like actively performing on the weekly shows, which I'm surprised.
Bim bam boom.
Bim bam boom, buddy. Yeah, I've been listening to some. I listened to.
They were not at the Idol Athletic competition.
They debuted like a week before it aired, dude. I mean, a week before it filmed. I'd be surprised. They have a thing in Japan now. They have an event in Japan, so they're gonna.
That's
I think
perfect.
they're gonna fly out.
That's
they're gonna fly out in like 2 weeks. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Judy's Korean is getting better every week.
I got one more thing. All right, hopefully I don't spoil this. Got another Luna album.
Oh,
this one is sealed, which we will open up when Luna comes back. But I bought albums to the kids who
Ooh.
won the bias hunt. So
How did you even wait? And how are you gonna even wait until we get to like the next Luna come back? We don't
I
even
looked
know
up
when
the
that is.
digital version of the pictures, sir. So I know what pictures are. So I don't have to open it. Let's just say I'm down like 2 kidneys after buying these albums. And I've been debating.
Yeah.
Oh, well, this might spoil one of the persons. I'm debating. I already said she's biased wrecking me. So I am debating buying the Olivia Hay one right now. That is a heavy consideration on my part.
What are you gonna sell this time? Now that you're down on both knees.
Blood.
What?
But
It's okay. When you have enough CDs, you can place them inside your guns.
But Anita, what
There'll be a new
have you been
kidney.
listening to or doing in terms of K-pop this past week?
Well, it's not K-pop per se, or like Korean music entertainment related to Mnet because Produce 101 Japan
Okay.
is
Oh,
getting
boy.
ready. So I've been keeping up with that. So I've seen a lot of like the fan cams,
Anita.
the individual stuff, and I don't know. I just want it to start. I just want it to begin.
Anita, these
Mm.
ending fairy cams that have come out.
Okay. All right. Calm down.
Okay, there's the one kid who made like
I know who you're talking about.
There's not one kid. There's two.
All right, there's one kid. He tried like 15 things in about 10 seconds, right? Number one kid.
The thing is, okay. So the ending shot that's been going around is from this. I don't remember his name completely, but he's half Filipino,
yep.
I believe, and half Japanese. And the thing is, like, I feel like a lot of people are taking it as a joke, like it's a little bit silly. But to be honest, like that ending scene was his individual fan cam, right? So like it was not on the official broadcasted performance, like the whole group performance. It wasn't on it, so I didn't think it was that bad. And I don't know, he comes up as very like inexperienced, like he's nervous, he's new. Like I don't know, I feel bad for him because I feel like he's getting some bad rap.
It trended everywhere. Subtle Asian traits on Facebook, Reddit, like
Oh my god,
it was all over the place. And
Bro.
the second kid I saw, one kid was like smiling, and then all of a sudden he tried to put his fist in his mouth.
Oh,
That was-
I know him. Yes.
Yeah, I was like, he was looking kind of cute until he went. Like,
Oh.
I don't know. what was
Shunya, I
going
think
on.
is his name, but
I mean, okay. I feel like we can learn a couple things from this. I feel like maybe they think that's the way to appeal to people.
I mean, if I was on that show and I know I'm not that good, I'd be trolling too. Let's be straight up.
yeah.
Right? Like if I was like
Yeah.
if I was just a regular kid, let's say I've been a trainee like 4 months and I know like I ain't that good. Like I'm probably gonna be placed in D, F, or X if that's a thing, right? And I'll be like, all right, might as well go viral then because if I have a big improvement arc, I might make it. It'd be like this kid who started as a meme is now decent. So I can see why they're doing it.
I mean, yeah. Here's the thing: is like everyone here are like not professionals in any level.
no, they're all independent.
Oh,
They're-
that's
yeah, they're all-
great. Oh, that means
This
the
is why
struggle's
I'm
gonna
so
be
excited. I
real.
want to see where we are starting off.
I kind of wanna see this with like, because I was not hyped for this at all.
All right, well,
But
Anita,
after
as we go forward, you could give us weekly updates and tell us like what we should watch, what we shouldn't watch. You know what I mean?
Oh, there's people already that are really popular, but I want to see the first episode first.
Okay.
Anita, do
awesome.
you want to do like a side episode with me every week?
Maybe. Honestly,
Honestly,
it's gonna be great.
I'll watch it for the memes. I'll straight up watch it for the memes. Let's do it, right, guys? We'll just do it then. Doesn't hurt.
We'll see what happens. I
We'll
don't
see what
want to say
happens.
we're good. If it's funny.
we'll at least watch the first 2 episodes and see if that's funny. Okay, that's
Alright,
what we could
alright.
do.
I'm
Alright,
so
But
curious.
Yoshimoto, TBS, Mnet, you've outdone yourselves. This is.
But the thing is, how fast are there gonna be people subbing this in English? Because I don't speak a lick of
That's what I'm
Japanese.
wondering.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
most concerned about.
This is where my 8 years of anime and 1 year of Japanese class comes into it.
Bro, like I used to watch AK Bingo, and sometimes there was no subs, and I'm sitting there like the whole way just because I wanted to see someone on the screen. I'm like, when they start laughing, that's me, dude. But That's how a lot of our international friends must feel who don't speak like a word of Korean. I've seen posts where people like, I only laugh when they laugh because they're laughing. You know what I mean? I guess the struggle is real, but it should be fun.
Sick Japanese guys. Let's go to a class together.
But this has been a jam-packed episode of Soju Talk, your weekly shot at K-pop. I'm Doug. I'd like to thank Warren and Anita for joining me today. As a quick reminder, please like, subscribe, and comment. Leave us feedback and questions at SojuTalkPodcast@gmail.com. Take us on the road with iTunes, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform. Join the Soju Talk Discord and follow the Soju Talk Instagram. Also, check out our 2 new series, Soju Bites and Soju Talk Unfiltered. We're taking some risks here, and we need you guys to let us know what you think about them, because we might change things up if it's not great. So we're just trying to produce the best content. But we will see you next week when we get to see Bangless Momo and the return of Mina. Bye.
Bye.